Well, trade tensions high between Canada and the United States, and China has stepped in and raised its own issues with Canada. Host of Real Ag Radio, Shaun Haney, joins us now for the latest. Shaun, boy, all right, let's talk about late Friday night. What did China apply tariffs on, and why are they doing this?
Yeah, are we having fun yet?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so this was late Friday night during the Saturday, I guess morning or afternoon in China. China released some information that they're going to be applying 100% tariff to canola oil, canola meal, and peas from Canada. That as of March 20th, so here in about 9 days. That was released on March 8th, so last Friday. So this levy will be prohibitive for the export of Canadian canola oil and meal to China, according to the Canola Council of Canada. Remember, this is not on canola seed. This is on meal and oil. Why are they doing this? Well, this all stems back to the fact that the U.S. asked Canada to participate with them on a 100% tariff on Chinese EVs coming into Canada and the United States. So Canada applied that tariff as answering a request from the U.S., and now China's taken out on Canada. So a pretty stiff response from China.
Well, let's talk about the Canadian response then to these measures by China. What's happening, and what is the country saying at this point?
Yeah, it's kind of unclear what Canada's response is going to be. You have to assume, based on what we've seen in Canada's response to the U.S., that we could see some retaliatory tariffs being placed on China, but there hasn't been any news of that as of yet. This is a kind of a tough situation because, as you were saying in the opening there, Canada's kind of having a hard time finding friends. We've got not only a growing trade dispute with the United States and the President Trump and his tariff agenda. Now we're facing the same thing coming from China to the same regard. So this is a tough spot when you're looking at two of the biggest economic superpowers in the world, and Canada's having a hard time finding a friend with either of them.
Well, we look at these tariffs and this play, the United States, China, at this point, and farmers across the board, not only in Canada, but America as well. What are you hearing from farm groups? Because they're the ones taking the hit right now. The reaction to this going on in your country there.
Yeah, grave concern. So, a lot of, encouraging the government to potentially provide compensation to Canadian farmers. Now, remember, on canola, for example, we're not exactly sure where we are in the shipping season. Like, is China able to do this? Because remember, there was some anti-dumping investigation that China was going through. I think that announcement was last summer. So a lot of Canadian canola was front-loaded into the Chinese market prior to this decision last Friday. So the question is, how much canola did China have yet to buy on 24 crop? This becomes a bigger issue when we get into the discussions about 25 crop and whether or not it's going to impact acres. So farm groups have been calling for compensation, probably a little bit early for that because we don't know what some of the damage is going to be, or there hasn't been any yet. The Canadian Pork Council, very concerned, wanting the Canadian government to step up and respond. We're going to be following this very closely as the week progresses and see what that Canadian retaliation could be.
Absolutely, and the farmers are definitely going to have to adjust. They're waiting for those answers as well. Shaun, a pleasure as always, and something that will consistently, I'm sure, be evolving as we move through this year. Host of Real Ag Radio, that is Shaun Haney. We always appreciate him being here. Shaun, you want to catch his show, Real Ag Radio. It airs at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. That's weekdays on Rural Radio Channel 147 and Sirius XM. We always love to have Shaun and his entire team join us here on Market Day Report. Well, this Real Ag Radio update is brought to you by Economics. You can go to nutrient-economics.com for the latest crop nutrition research and information.